Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to guide you through one of the most essential yet tricky aspects of English conversation, which is talking about dates and milestones. I know that for many of you, asking someone about their birthday sounds simple, but the grammar behind the answer can be quite confusing. Have you ever paused in the middle of a sentence wondering if you should say in or on? If you choose the wrong preposition, you might end up inviting your friends to a party at the wrong time, which would be a complete disaster. In this first part of our series, I want to help you master these small but crucial details so you can speak with the confidence of a native British speaker. Let us start with the most important question, which is, when is your birthday? When you answer this question, you must pay close attention to the prepositions because we use two different ones depending on the detail we give. I want you to remember rule number one, which is that we use the word in for the month alone. For example, I would say my birthday is in February or my birthday is in October. Think of the month as a large container of time, so we use in to show we are inside that month. However, rule number two is that we use on when we mention the specific date or day. For example, I would say my birthday is on the 14th of February or it is on Monday. This is where many students make mistakes, so please be careful. Now let us talk about numbers, because in English we never say my birthday is on 2 February. Instead, we use ordinal numbers. I want you to listen to the difference. We say first, not one. We say second, not two. We say third, not three. For example, my birthday is on the 1st of May, or it is on the 2nd of June. Pay attention to the TH sound at the end of most other numbers like 4th, 5th, and 20th. I know the TH sound can be difficult as you have to place your tongue between your teeth, but with practice, it becomes natural. A tricky one is the 30th, so make sure you pronounce that clearly. Now, talking about dates is easy, but what happens if your birthday falls on a special holiday? In our example story, we talked about a character named Jack whose birthday is on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. Having a birthday on a major holiday can be brilliant, but it also has a downside that I find quite amusing. Jack mentioned that people remember his birthday easily, but there is one problem. Sometimes people give him one gift for both Valentine's Day and his birthday. Can you imagine the frustration? He told a story about a friend who gave him a big red heart-shaped box and said, "This is for both occasions." I think that is a little practical, but also a bit cheeky, because we all want 2 cakes, don't we? Speaking of cakes and parties, knowing when the party is happens to be only the beginning. You need to be able to describe the event and the feelings surrounding it. I want you to practice asking your friends about their birthdays using the correct prepositions we learned today. Remember to use in for the month and on for the specific day. It is these small details that polish your English and make you sound professional. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to improve your English with me. Leave a comment below and practice with me. Now that you have mastered the dates and invitations, let us imagine walking into the party itself. I want you to close your eyes and think about the atmosphere. Is it loud and crazy, or is it quiet and cozy? Describing the vibe of a party is what makes your English sound advanced and descriptive. I do not want you to just say the party was good. I want you to be able to say it was vibrant, or it was intimate, or perhaps it was a complete disaster. In this section, I am going to upgrade your vocabulary to describe exactly what happens at a birthday celebration. Not all birthday parties are the same, and I want to look at 2 distinct styles. First, we have the low-key celebration. Low-key means quiet, relaxed, and not drawing too much attention. I remember Jack describing his party as a small picnic in the park with his friends. He said they drank coffee and talked for a long time, and it was very quiet and relaxing. This is a perfect example of a low-key party where the focus is on conversation and connection. On the other hand, we have the lively celebration. Lively means full of energy and excitement. Emma described her weekend as not quiet at all because she played football with her nephews, which was loud but very fun. I want you to ask yourself which one you prefer. Do you like the calm of a picnic or the energy of a sports match? No party is complete without food, but at parties we rarely sit down for a full formal dinner. Instead, we often have what I call finger foods. These are small items of food that you eat with your hands, not with a knife and fork. I love describing these foods because they sound so delicious. We have sandwiches, chicken wings, fruit salad, and of course the most important item, which is the big chocolate cake. Talking about cake brings me to a very funny topic, which is baking disasters. I want to share a story about Emma. She admitted that she is not a good baker. One time she tried to make a cake for her mum, and she described it as terrible, very flat and very hard. She even said it was like a rock and they could not eat it at all. She called it a complete disaster. I want you to learn this word disaster because it is fantastic to use when something goes completely wrong in a funny way. Instead of saying it was bad, you can say it was a disaster. At parties, we also play games. My family is very competitive, which means we all want to win very much. We often play simple games like Ludo or charades. In charades, you act out a word, but you cannot speak, which can be very funny, especially when someone is bad at acting. Jack told a story about his father trying to act out a movie star, but looking like he was dancing. Being able to tell stories like this with descriptive words like competitive and disaster will make your conversations so much more engaging. I hope you are feeling more confident in describing your social events. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. Moving on to one of the most exciting parts of any birthday, let us talk about gifts and, more importantly, how to react to them when they are not exactly what you hope for. Imagine the scene where you are holding a beautifully wrapped box and you feel a rush of excitement, wondering if it is a new phone or a watch. But when you open it, you find something completely unexpected. In our story, Jack and Emma shared some wonderful memories of the best gifts they ever received. Jack mentioned that when he was 10 years old, his grandparents gave him a bicycle. He used lovely descriptive words saying it was red and shiny, and he felt so free riding it every single day. This is a great example of how to describe a gift by focusing on the feeling it gave you. Emma also had a touching story about receiving a puppy named Buddy for her 12th birthday. She described him as a small brown dog who was very sweet and playful. She also noted that while it was a wonderful gift, it was a big responsibility because she had to walk him and feed him every day. I want you to notice how they used adjectives like shiny, sweet, and playful to make their stories come alive. However, not all gifts are perfect, and this is where your English manners must shine. Emma told a hilarious story about her aunt who always gives her very interesting sweaters. She said they are always too big and come in very bright colors like orange, purple, or neon green. Now, you might ask if she actually wears them. She admitted that she wears them only when her aunt visits because it makes her aunt happy. This is a perfect example of kindness. Jack also shared a funny experience where his uncle gave him a book about the history of spoons. Can you imagine a 15-year-old boy receiving a very big, thick book about spoons from different countries? Jack said it even had many close-up pictures of spoons, which is very specific and not really what a teenager wants. So why do we keep these gifts? We keep them because of a golden idiom I want you to learn, which is, it is the thought that counts. This phrase saves many relationships because it means the intention behind the gift is more important than the object itself. So how do you react politely when you receive a spoon book? You must never say, I hate this. Instead, you should use the polite phrases Jack used, like thank you very much, or that is very kind of you. Jack even said, thank you, Uncle, for this very interesting book. He focused on the positive aspect, which is that it was interesting rather than saying it was boring. Another great phrase is, oh, you did not have to, which implies the person is very generous. Mastering these reactions is just as important as the vocabulary itself because it shows you are a polite and thoughtful English speaker. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. Now that we have opened the presents, let us look at the fascinating world of birthday traditions and the art of writing the perfect card. You might think birthdays are the same everywhere, but people celebrate in very different ways depending on their culture and even their workplace. Let us start with birthday cards. Emma mentioned that she loves getting cards and keeps them all in a box because the messages inside are very special to her. Usually people write simple things like wishing you all the best on your special day. However, if you want to write something charming and witty, I have a fantastic phrase for you. Emma suggests writing, do not worry about getting older, you are like fine wine, you get better every year. This is such a clever compliment because fine wine becomes more valuable and delicious with time. So you are saying the person is becoming more wonderful as they age. I think that is much better than just writing happy birthday. Now let us talk about the office environment. How do you celebrate with colleagues? Jack explained that in his office they usually bring a cake for the birthday person and eat it together during the coffee break. He described it as short but very nice. On the other hand, Emma said that in her office everyone gives a little money and then they all buy one big gift for the birthday person. Knowing these differences is very useful for business English because you want to know what to expect in a new job. Moving on to global traditions, Jack mentioned a custom where children are lifted in a chair for their birthday, which sounds quite fun. Another common tradition is that the birthday person must take the first slice of cake for good luck. But there is one tradition that is quite controversial. Emma described a joke where if you are single, your friends might push your face into the cake. She emphasized that it is just a silly joke for fun, but admitted it is very messy. I have to agree with Emma and Jack here that it would make me sad to ruin a beautiful cake, because cake is for eating, not for wearing on your face. When we talk about these customs, we use words like tradition and routine. For example, Jack said calling his family a routine. Being able to explain your own cultural traditions in English is a wonderful way to connect with people from other countries. You can simply say, in my country we have a tradition of eating noodles, or in my family we always sing a special song. It invites conversation and sharing. I hope you are now ready to write that perfect card and understand the different ways we celebrate life. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. Speaking of memories and dates, have you ever woken up in a cold sweat realizing you completely missed a close friend's birthday? It happens to the best of us, and it can feel quite awkward because you feel terrible for forgetting such an important day. But in English, we have a perfect idiom to handle this situation with grace, and it is a phrase you should definitely memorize. The phrase is better late than never. This phrase is a lifesaver because it acknowledges the mistake but emphasizes that sending a wish late is still a positive gesture and much better than staying silent. So if you forget, just send a message the next day saying happy birthday, better late than never. On the flip side, what if you are the one being forgotten? That can feel a little sad and might make you feel unimportant, but Jack has a very smart strategy to avoid this. He told Emma that he has a friend who always forgets, so he reminds him a week before by saying, hey, my birthday is next Friday. Jack calls this having no surprises. I think it is a brilliant way to ensure you get the celebration you deserve without any drama or hurt feelings. Talking about surprises leads us to a big debate in the birthday world, which is whether or not to have a surprise party. In our story, Emma shared a vivid memory of her 25th birthday where her friends planned a massive surprise party for her. She said she thought they were going to a quiet dinner, but when she opened the door, everyone was there. She described the feeling of being so shocked she almost cried and said it was very emotional and fun. It is a wonderful memory for her because she felt the love of her friends in that loud moment. However, not everyone enjoys that kind of shock. Jack admitted that he has never had one, and honestly, he prefers knowing the plan because his family knows he does not like big surprises. He said that surprises are not for everyone, and that is a very fair point. This is a great topic to discuss with your friends because knowing if someone is team surprise or team plan can save you from a very awkward evening. When we tell these stories about our past birthdays, we must use the past simple tense correctly because we are describing finished actions. I want you to notice the specific verbs Jack and Emma used in their conversation. Jack said his grandparents gave him a bicycle using the irregular verb gave, not give. Emma said she felt so free riding it using the verb felt, not feel. Jack mentioned he went hiking and his wife woke up early. Mastering these irregular verbs, like gave, felt, went, and woke, is essential for storytelling because if you use the present tense, it sounds confusing. Not all birthday memories have to be loud parties or shocking surprises. Jack shared a beautiful memory that really stood out to me because of its simplicity. He said last year he and his friends went hiking and reached the top of a hill where they ate cake with a beautiful view. He described it as peaceful and calm, stating that nature and cake are a perfect combination. I love that image because it shows that a celebration can just be about finding a moment of peace with the people you care about. Whether you like loud surprises or quiet hikes, the important thing is the feeling of being special. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. Turning our gaze from the past to the future, let us talk about a concept that I find incredibly inspiring, which is the birthday resolution. We all know about New Year's resolutions, where we promise to go to the gym or save money, but your birthday is actually a much more personal time to set a new goal. It is the start of your personal new year, so it makes sense to plan for the chapter ahead. In our conversation, Emma mentioned that she sometimes makes these resolutions because she wants to improve herself. And for example, last year, she decided to learn how to swim, and she actually did it. That is a wonderful achievement and shows how a birthday can be a catalyst for change. Inspired by her success, Jack decided that his resolution for the coming year would be to learn to bake a good cake, especially after his previous disaster. Emma was very supportive and told him he can do it and maybe his sister can teach him. I think this is a fantastic way to look at aging. Instead of worrying about getting older, you focus on what you will learn. You can structure your sentence by saying, this year I will learn to, or my resolution is to. Now, when you are the one blowing out the candles, you make a secret wish, but what should you say when you are wishing someone else well? The standard happy birthday is fine, but we can do better and make our friends feel truly clear about our care. A very common and heartfelt wish is I wish you health and happiness. It is simple, but it covers the most important things in life because without health and happiness, nothing else matters. If you are speaking to a student or a colleague who is starting a new job, you might say, I wish you success in all your projects. This shows you support their ambitions and want them to do well in their career. However, there is one social rule that you must be very careful with when talking about this topic. In English culture, it is often considered not polite to ask an adult, specifically a woman, how old they are. I know in some cultures asking age is a sign of care and respect, but in the UK it can be seen as rude or intrusive. So what can you ask instead if you want to make conversation without offending anyone? You can simply ask, how did you celebrate, or did you have a nice day? These questions show you care about their happiness without focusing on the number. This brings us to the philosophy of age. It is easy to feel a bit down and say, oh no, I am older, but Emma's a wonderful perspective that I think we should all adopt. She believes every birthday is a celebration because you have lived another year, learned new things, and had new experiences. She used the famous phrase, age is just a number. This positive mindset is what makes a birthday truly special. It is not about the wrinkles or the years, it is about the wisdom and the memories you have collected. So the next time you celebrate, remember to look forward with excitement and embrace the wisdom that comes with another year. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. In today's modern world, the way we invite people to celebrate with us has changed dramatically, and knowing the right etiquette for these invitations is crucial for maintaining good relationships. In the past, if you wanted to invite someone to a party, you might have sent a formal paper card through the post, but today it is all about text messages and social media, which makes things faster but also a little more complicated. You need to know how to switch between formal and informal tones depending on who you are inviting. For a close friend, you can keep it very casual. Jack gave us a perfect example of a text message invitation that is simple and relaxed. He suggested saying, hey, it is my birthday on Friday. A few of us are going to a restaurant. Join us if you can. I love this phrase, join us if you can, because it puts no pressure on the friend. It implies that if they are busy, it is completely fine, but you would love to see them. However, if you are inviting a colleague or perhaps an acquaintance, you want to be a bit more polite and structured. In that case, you should say, I am having a birthday party next Saturday. Would you like to come? The phrase, would you like to, is the gold standard of politeness in British English. Now let us talk about the other side of the coin, which is refusing an invitation. This can feel very awkward because you do not want to hurt anyone's feelings, but sometimes you just cannot go, or maybe you just want to stay home and sleep. You simply cannot just say no, as that sounds too harsh and rude. Instead, I want you to master the art of the soft refusal using the phrase, I cannot make it. This is a magical phrase. It means you're unable to attend, but it sounds gentle. You should always combine it with a thank you. For example, you can text back saying, thank you for the invitation, but I cannot make it. It is always nicer to say, I cannot make it, instead of just no. Moving on to the digital world, we have to discuss how social media has changed birthdays. Emma noted that now on Facebook or Instagram, everyone writes a message on your page and you might get maybe 100 birthday messages. While this is lovely, she pointed out that some are from people you hardly talk to, and it is not the same as a phone call or a handwritten card. I completely agree with her, because a phone call means someone is really thinking about you at that moment and taking time out of their day to hear your voice. However, technology also allows us to connect across distances. If your friends live in different countries, you can throw an online birthday party. Emma explained how this works by saying you have a video call with your friends where everyone is at home, but you talk together, maybe play an online game and laugh. You can even show your cake to the camera, which sounds a bit funny, but it is a great way to share the moment. As Emma said, it is better than nothing and helps us stay close to those we love even when we are far apart. I hope you now feel confident sending that text or setting up that video call. If you enjoyed this lesson, do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Leave a comment below and practice with me. We have arrived at the grand finale of our series, and I am so proud of the progress you have made in mastering the language of birthdays. We have journeyed through dates and prepositions, laughed about baking disasters and awkward gifts, and learned how to navigate social traditions and invitations. Now it is time to bring it all together to ensure these words stick in your mind forever. Let us do a quick review of the essential vocabulary we have covered. Remember that the day you were born is your birthday, and to do something special for it is to celebrate. When you ask someone to come, that is an invite, and the people who arrive are your guests. Do not forget the most important item, which is the cake with candles on top that you must blow out after making a wish. We also talked about tradition, which is a custom you do again and again, like lifting a child in a chair or eating a special meal. And of course, we covered the word surprise, which describes something unexpected like a party you did not know about. I also want to remind you of the grammar rules we practiced. When you talk about the month alone, use in July, but when you talk about the specific day, use on the 10th of June. And when you tell stories about your past birthdays, remember to use the past simple tense. You gave a gift, you felt happy, and you went to a party. These small grammatical details are what polish your English and make you sound fluent. Now I have a final challenge for you. In our story, both Jack and Emma described their ideal celebration. Jack said his perfect birthday party would be a simple day outside in nature with good friends, fresh air, and maybe a picnic. On the other hand, Emma said her perfect party would be a cozy dinner at home with all her favorite people and, of course, a big chocolate cake. I want you to think about what your perfect birthday looks like. Where would you be? Who would be there? What food would you eat? Visualizing this and describing it in English is a fantastic way to practice everything we have learned. Remember that learning English is a journey that takes time, so please be patient with yourself. Small practice like asking a friend about their traditions or writing a comment makes a big difference. You are doing a great job, and I am truly proud of you for sticking with this series until the end. Thank you for spending your time with us today, and we hope you have a wonderful day and a very happy birthday whenever it is. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give us a thumbs up as it really supports our channel. And if you have not yet, please click the subscribe button and the little bell so you will not miss any of our new videos because we make new English conversations every single week. Bye everyone.